Hey folks, welcome to One Dot Daily. I'm Chris. I am a newer knife channel and I welcome you here. Hopefully there's some sort of content that you're interested in taking a look at. I'm mainly here to, just maybe make some friends in the YouTube knife community. I've been watching videos now for a while and I just couldn't help myself. I kind of want to jump in and take part. It's very it's addictive and intoxicating. I like to tinker with knives and see if I can fix them or mod them or restore them, bring them back to life. I kind of focus on case 1979 one dots. That's my focus for like collecting, but I like a lot of different knives. I collect GECs, all kinds of stuff, but I also like to take older knives and take them apart, see if I can repair something that's broken with them or make them function the way that they did, or just shine them up to my liking and bring them back and give them a little bit of life. I find that when I work on an old knife or any knife and start to interact with it in that way, I kind of get to know it and it becomes maybe a little bit more personal to me, and that knife ends up meaning something and begin to have a relationship with it. And sometimes those relationships can be a little bit volatile. On today's episode, I've got a case tested Barlow. Now, it's an 80 to 100-year-old knife, and I ran into some issues with it, as you'll see in the video. And but that's the way it goes, that knives kind of tell you what they're willing to take, and you ask something of them, and maybe they push back a little bit, and so you get to know one another that way, and it's all a little bit of a negotiation maybe. Anyways, the knife you see for yourself in the next part. Hope you stick around to watch the video, and I guess welcome to the channel. And maybe if you see something here, I guess I'm supposed to say like and subscribe. That's secondary. I just really want to kind of be part of the knife community. I've been inspired by a lot of people. Richter's Knives, the Knife Doctor, of course. You'll see some stuff I do is kind of just ripping off on him a little bit. Those guys have great personalities and character and everything, and I'm not trying to be one of them, but I definitely am inspired by that type of content, and I like working on knives, playing with knives, collecting knives, so that's what I'm here for, and I would love some discourse in the comments. If you have questions, comments, things that I'm doing you don't like or don't think I should, or have advice, or you like it, let me hear about it. I'd love to open up some sort of conversation and interact with people in other places. It's kind of like video pen pal type of situation where we have I see there's a little community going on, and I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it, and I just wanted to take part in it. So I don't know. Here I am. Thank you for having me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find something here that you enjoy. All right. Thanks, guys. Here's the knife in question. We've got a case tested, supposedly, Barlow. And you can see there it's got sunken spring in there, and so that's creating a problem. It's got half stop, okay. But once you get out here, it's got back and forth, front and back, and you can see that's sunken. Now, so what I think it is either the tang's worn down or the spring's worn down, most likely the tang. But I also see that spring sits up there. You can see if you push on it, that blade gets tighter, and now it's tight once that's pushed, which can possibly be a spring or a pin, because I had this knife, this keen cutter here, and it was doing all the same things that this guy was. And when I took out the pins and repinned this spring, I think is this spring, man, now it was beautiful snap, and the spring is perfect there. So sometimes you don't know until you get it taken apart what exactly the problem is. But this has great walk and talk now. Still got the saw cut bone on there. This is a, I believe, after 1940 about, because it doesn't have the EC Simmons. So something got bought out, I think, and somebody else started making it, maybe like a Camillus or something like that. And they just have the keen cutter, but it doesn't say EC Simmons. So this one's like a 40s or 50s, maybe even. I think probably like more like 40s though. My pins here. My pin work is not awesome. A little large there. Got them okay here. Anyhow, I didn't take this one to full shine and sand down like I normally do. Just did enough to disappear the pins. I may clean this up further in another video because it turned out really, really good. I did delete the blade though, and make it a single just because I prefer it that way, and this turned out perfect. So anyway, back to this guy here. Really beautiful bone on this thing, which makes me think it is attested. And this label, if it's gonna focus, this tang stamp is pretty good. I believe that is what we want to see on the. See how the letters are sharp down? The tested is what I'm talking about. The tested has the sharp letters. So I think this is correct. What threw me off was that these are supposed to be 3 3/8 in length. And let me get in the book I've got, which is a comprehensive book. I'll show it to you in the future. 3 3/8 is what it's supposed to be, and this guy is sitting at 3 6/8, much closer to like getting close to 3.5, right? If I'm reading this right, hold on, 1, 2, no, that's 3 3/8. Okay, so anyway, case tested, really, really pretty bone. I'm gonna have to take it apart to see to diagnose the problem. And if this is the problem, this tang being worn down to the point where I have to fix that tang, it's something I haven't done before. I know that Southern Knife Hobbyist has a couple videos where he does similar stuff, and so I've kind of taken some notes from him, and I'm gonna attempt to do that, because this would be a really cool user knife. It looks to me like it's been apart before, based on kind of a larger pin here maybe, and these are sticking out on both sides, which to me seems like, just having taken apart a couple, means they weren't sanded down to disappear. Because usually you see if one's sticking protruding on this side, it's a little sunken on this side. Anyway, there's a little chip here, but it's a chip. It's not like a crack. There's no other cracks in this. And man, it would really, really be a pretty knife. Get it all cleaned up and sanded down and functioning properly. So, next video will be, next part will be in the garage, taking this guy apart. Okay. So I'll get started with this. Hopefully just light taps. Man, look at that. Now I'm scared I'm bending that liner, gonna break that bone. And yes, I have cracked that. Damn it. I don't know how that could have pushed that and been stuck there. All right, moving on. I think this is what the knife doctor refers to as a booger bear, right? Doesn't he call it that? Guys, what we've got here, we've got all the knife parts disassembled and ready to kind of clean. I'm going to use razor blade to scrape off some of this rust. There's a lot of intense rust in there, and it's kind of a satisfying procedure. And then I don't know whether or not yet I'm going to polish these liners. Sometimes I do that if I'm taking it apart. It's also just something that's gratifying to me. They would have been polished back in the day, but in the back springs, polish this on both sides, inside and out, get rid of that rust. We shall cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm gonna use these. If you don't have a stack of these razors and you're taking apart knives, these are just useful. Get you a bunch of these. All right, start with this liner here. I may fast forward this stuff because it gets a little tedious and boring. I will take a Dremel to this after I get most of the rough stuff on, just because I'm indoors right now. And you get a Dremel working on that stuff, it'll fly all over your house, make a mess. Look at all that. That's just from the liner. There's going to be that on every inside of the handles, as well as the springs. Still licking my wounds about having cracked that bone handle. But you know what? I've seen other guys do it on while they're filming, and I haven't done it before. Taking apart a knife, I cracked a pair while I was peening some before, and you know, I think it just happens. I think it's just part of the learning curve. Got to always remember to slow down what you're doing when you're working, especially with the old stuff. Sometimes I even write a note while I write a note and I tape it to the my workspace, just to remind myself to slow down. And sometimes like things can get frustrated and you just need to like walk away for a minute. And it's funny what just walking away from something, and it's not just knife stuff, right? I mean, I'm not sharing anything new, you guys know, but sometimes you just need to walk away from something for a minute if it's frustrating you, and return, and with a new set of patience, I guess, and proceed from there. Which brings up an interesting topic, which I would love to hear about in the comments, is, you know, this knife I showed you it wouldn't lock up. And so it's basically useless. It was because it's not really like you can't really use that knife. It's not satisfying, constantly annoying to not lock up like that, and then dangerous too if you were to actually use it. Not that you're necessarily going to use this knife, but for the sake of restoring something to a usable state, for me, gives me more satisfaction in owning something that is functioning properly, as opposed to just something to purely look at. I mean, me personally, I take these knives, the ones that I don't carry, I take out and I still look at them and like to fidget a little bit with them, and the satisfaction of that, we all love that snap. That's kind of part of the fun of these guys. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Am I taking something and I cracked that bone? Am I making it worse? Is it something I shouldn't have touched? Or I don't know. What's your opinion on it? Comment on it. I'd love to hear from you, because there's a lot of knives I'll do. Generally when they're in disrepair, I'll do a blade delete on something. And they're all older knives. I prefer collect a lot of 79s, so I have multiple 79s, and I'll grab anytime I see like a 79 case knife that has a usable blade. I'll save that blade and then find something with a broken blade but has like good parts and put that 79 in there, and it makes it kind of part of that one dot daily. That's the name of the channel. It's a new channel, but that's kind of what I like. Is I like to collect the knives that are that birth year, that kind of helps it mean something a little bit more. It's like, you can collect any case knife, but why? Like, is there a reason? And so that, that's cool. That's what's cool about case knives. They're dated like that, and you can get real specific with what you collect. And I don't know, that just kind of made sense to me. Obvious. Okay, well, this thing's the same age as I am. Talking about the 79s, not the case tested. I'm sure this knife has outlived most of those who were around when it was made. Unless I kill it here, right? So comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the matter. Because it's not just, I'll do lots of videos, hopefully lots, or some in the future, unless this one is the one that ends me. I'll show new knives, stuff that I carry, but it's not going to just be about taking apart knives or repairing knives. Lots of channels that do that. There's lots of channels that do everything. There's nothing new under the sun that I know of. If you hear my dog is down at my feet, because that's where he likes to stay. And he's got a donut on him, or a cone on him right now, because he loves to lick his paws profusely, and then eventually, like a cat, he throws it up. No fun. Don't want to clean up after that, so keeping him coned up for now for his own good, right? Yeah. All right, blades do not need to be scraped really. We got to take a look at these tangs and compare them to see if it's this guy here that is, if this tang is damaged. Just from the naked eye though, I'm not seeing a big difference in them that would cause what was happening in the beginning with the blade wobble and that spring going down. Now, I don't know if the spring itself can probably have damage to it. We'll take a closer look at that too. Man, there's a lot of, I could scrape on these for days. Might just start having to take the little Dremel fiber wheel thing to it because it's faster. It's time consuming. I'll speed this up so you guys don't have to watch this. But look at all that comes off of there. Very satisfying. Don't let that remind you of anything. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I wonder if I should polish these eventually. They'll get really shiny. I like looking down into the well of a knife and having it being sparkly, fresh, clean. But being an old Barlows are not, I don't know. There's also something about the age on a knife, right? And some people really discourage cleaning a knife, which means getting in, sanding down surfaces that are pitted or have a lot of rust on them. And I just can't. I'm about, like, if you want something working properly, and all of that stuff to me keeps something from working properly. Like, I get on some stuff you don't want to polish and sand those blades down. I'm not sanding these blades down at all. First of all, I don't even think they need it. That's not a level. I don't want to clean something so that this is sparkling and shining, because the blade is what you use to cut with. It's an important piece of metal you don't want worn down. But polishing the insides of this stuff up, and polishing this out and polishing the springs, I don't believe hurt the function of a knife, but actually improve it. Whereas a little bit of pitting on a blade does not take away, in my opinion, from the function of that blade. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong, probably am, but that's my current opinion. Someone could maybe sway me. I am interested in that topic of cleaning and what guys think, because, like, if you had a vintage car, I get, and you have a barn find, right? Don't you shine the thing up and bring it back and polish it up? And I don't think, do you leave it a junk heap that you found in the barn, or you clean it up and make the thing run shine? I don't know. Who knows? Look at that crack. You see it there? Maybe not against the black, but then it's gonna not focus. Okay, that's not working. Can't really see it, huh? Getting the light the right way. There, you can see the line. You can start to see the line there. And on the side, look at that. What a doofus. I did that. Well, accidents happen. I think it will. You can get the glue on there and it'll be fine anyways. Okay, that's 10 minutes of me just doing that. Maybe boring to watch, huh? guys, so I've got the outline of the liner here, and this is what is baffling me, because this happened with the Keen Cutter too, is so you put this together and it's just a rough to get to see if your spring is right. So let's get that spring in there. Okay. So that's in there secure, and you can see the spring wants to push down, so we gotta just by hand get it under there, and it's tight. Which is a good thing. If I can do it, geez, what Okay, so see, we've got it there. Now if I just hold this flat so the blade doesn't come off, I mean, that's a solid lockup. That's just a solid lockup. There's no space. That's solid, man. That's good snap. You know, this wants to come off, but you see, that's good, strong snap. And so if that's in place and won't move, you know, it's being held down. But so that's good lockup. I don't understand. So maybe just repinning it is going to do it. So I'm not going to attempt to mess with adding anything to this tank. So look at this. I got these pins in. This one's not in all the way, but it is through that first spring. So I've got, you know, these mock-up pins through, and man, that is snap and a half. Wow. And the spring's still going down. It's still dipping down, if you can see. But I think repinning, it's not all the way through this second spring, but repinning this is going to do the trick. I don't have to add any metal. But you know, I still would have had to repin it, still would have had to taken that out. So that crack's gonna be okay. I'm gonna get to gluing that guy up nicely. Now take this guy apart. guys. All right, we're here in the garage. I've finished sanding down these back springs, and as you can see here, maybe the back spring is a bit polished, looking pretty good. I didn't do the side, but they're much cleaner. The inside of the spring right there, so it'll look nice inside the well of the knife. What I'm gonna do here is polish these liners a little, get them cleaned up. So really, so far so good. We've got everything pinned. We've got these taken down pretty good here at the bolster. And so now I just need to sand these so that they disappear. Guys, we've got those pins basically disappeared in there. As you can see, nice and smooth, a good starting place, very clean. Can't see them on either side, can't feel them either. All right, we're ready to start sanding, but the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to tape off these blades so we don't get any unwanted scratches on the blades, and I'm going to attempt to tape off the back springs too, which is kind of tedious, and I also stick tape down in the blade well just because, you know, I've cleaned inside and polished stuff up a little bit on the inside, so I know it's very clean in there, and I just want to keep lots of bone and dust and metal comes off and gets down in there, and I've done as good a job as I can to keep that fresh and clean in there, so I just want to protect it. Okay, finally we are ready to start sanding, which gets really messy. You can see it's I just got it stuffed in there, taped up. Back springs are taped up. All right, we got it done. Here it is, guys. This is the case-tested Barlow that had the wobble and non-lockup function. As you can see now, it is locking up really, really strong. And I mean, it's got horsepower is what I call it. When you go to close that guy on all the blades, you can feel, what I mean by horsepower is you feel it through the frame kicking that back spring. So I am gonna hit it with sunshine cloth, and this is just kind of a process I picked up from watching guys like the Knife Doctor, and Knife Delights does a little bit of this, that gentleman, mainly the Knife Doctor though, because I even have put some wax on it like he has, like he has done. But I shine it up a little bit here. I have flushed the bolsters, flushed the joints with mineral oil, and I will, because it was a little bit, you still get grime and stuff in the joints when you are sanding stuff down or whatnot. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this onto those handles. This isn't what Kevin the Knife Doctor uses, but this stuff's okay. Otter wax, I don't know, it's whatever I could find on Amazon that's natural, but I really like the smell of it. It smells really, really good. So let's put a little bit of this on there. I didn't cut my finger on this knife. I actually cut my finger reaching into toolbox, and so as you can remember, I cracked this bone, but I'm really happy with the way that I was able to seal the crack back up. It's really, really small. You can see here the little crack. If I just get the light right on there, you can see that little hairline crack. You can see it a little bit on the back, but barely. It sealed up very, very tight. And there was a place you can see here on the edge, but that is so, it almost just, it doesn't even look like a crack right there any longer. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Bone looks very, very pretty, kind of all marbled, just like glass on there, but with that original kind of blood groove of the bone. I don't know what they call that groove. It's kind of like a worm groove on a jig knife, but not, I don't know if that's the same on like this was saw cut bone. You can see just a little bit of saw cut left on it, but I think this knife was cleaned up once before I got it, but you can see a little saw cut texture there. But I'm really happy. These pins are gone here, and most importantly about the knife, this thing is a functional knife now. I mean, it locks up so great, and really, really looks nice and shiny. But generally these knives were all whittled down, the blade's gone. So I'm just really, really happy, you guys. Man, listen to that snap. It's very centered. I am gonna take this tang, this kick down just a little bit with a file so that it sits, because it's just barely proud right now the way that it is. But those knife wells are really clean. That blade is really well centered. I mean, this knife's so old, anyways, guys, really happy with the way it turned out. I hope that maybe this was somewhat interesting to you guys. I am going to do more of this just because I enjoy it, for one, and I want to. I'm just inspired by guys like the Knife Doctor and Richter Knives is very inspiring. Love those guys are so entertaining. They have such great personalities, and I don't know that I can add anything on that front. But maybe there's some knife content to look at. Maybe there's a discussion to be had. Maybe comment back and forth. I'd love to. I think that from you guys and your comments, maybe the way that I learn. Be kind, but it's the internet. You guys, I put myself out here a little bit. Maybe someone will view these. Maybe no one will ever see this. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. And I will hopefully see some of you or hear from you in the next video. I guess what I'm supposed to say, like and subscribe. Although, that's up to you guys. All right. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it.